Rain trailed the convoy as it rumbled westward, the captured Panzer chained on a flatbed trailer behind Hanley's Sherman. Its dull gray silhouette cut against the afternoon sky like a carcass being hauled to autopsy. Villagers watched from doorways, unsure whether to cheer or cross themselves. To them it was simply another engine of ruin, whatever insignia it wore. At a forward depot near St. Lo, engineers had rigged a makeshift testing ground. Wooden tables, chalkboards, and a row of floodlights turned the muddy field into something between a workshop and a battlefield. The Panzer was rolled beneath the tarps, and a ring of officers gathered as though waiting for a magician to reveal a trick. Major Harlan, a broad man with nicotine-yellow fingers, arrived first. "Gentlemen," he barked, "we're here to see what made Jerry's armor so damn frightening." Carter exchanged a glance with Hanley. The irony bit both of them. They stripped the machine bare, plates unbolted, turret pried open, engine block hoisted by chains that groaned like wounded animals. Each clang echoed across the yard. Inside the hull, Travers traced wires to the radio unit. "Look at this, simplified circuitry. They sacrificed redundancy for speed. That's gutsy engineering." Hanley crouched by the front glacis, running a palm along the surface where enemy shells had scarred it. Under the soot, the steel felt thinner than memory. He could almost sense the ghost of the German crew who'd trusted it to keep them alive. 50 millimeters, Carter repeated to the crowd, tapping his calipers. Angled at 25 degrees gives an effective resistance near 60, but it's still nothing miraculous. Harlan grunted. So the stories were blown up by propaganda. "Maybe," Carter said. "Or maybe our fear did half their work." The words sank heavier than rain. The men realized they hadn't just captured a tank, they'd captured a mirror showing their own illusions. As night fell, they set up floodlights and continued dissecting. A mechanic cut through the lower hull with a torch, sparks showering like molten rain. From the glow emerged a surprise, a cavity hidden behind the transmission box. Inside lay bundles of rolled blue paper sealed in wax. "Plans?" Travers asked. Carter pulled one free, unrolled it carefully. The print was German script, schematics, measurements, armor layouts. Across the title block, PZKPFW4 OSF. In Twicklung. Development drawings. Hanley caught a glimpse of a thicker frontal plate sketched in red pencil, 80 millimeters. "Upgrades," Carter murmured. They were already fixing the weakness. Harlan exhaled smoke. They knew 50 wouldn't hold forever. The revelation spread like fire through headquarters. Photographers arrived, snapping pictures for intelligence briefings. In the mess hall that night, talk buzzed, rumors of new German tanks heavier, deadlier. Someone whispered the name, Tiger. Hanley stirred his coffee, silent. He pictured the enemy workshops still churning under Allied bombing, engineers racing against collapse. Every myth broken was replaced by another, bigger one. Days turned into a rhythm of testing. They fired captured Panzerfausts at the hull, measured dents and penetrations, documented ricochet angles. Each shot became data, each dent a lesson. Carter oversaw it all, his notebook swelling with numbers. But when he closed it at night, the figures turned to ghosts. One afternoon, a column of Shermans stopped by the depot for refit. Their crews circled the captured tank, trading disbelief. Private Miles spat into the mud. "So this little bastard scared half of Europe?" Hanley nodded toward the angled armor. It wasn't the steel, it was the men inside. He meant it. Because the longer he stared into the gutted hull, the more he felt the strange respect soldiers feel for worthy enemies. Inside, he found a small metal tag etched with the names of the crew, Keller, Brandt, Weiss. He slipped it into his pocket without telling anyone. It felt wrong to leave them nameless. That night a storm rolled in. Lightning flashed over the depot, thunder mingling with the roar of distant artillery. In the flicker of light, the Panzer looked alive again, shadows playing over its stripped body. Hanley couldn't sleep. He went outside, rain pelting his helmet, and stood before the wreck. He whispered, 50 millimeters, huh? You made us believe you were iron gods. The rain answered in metallic taps. By dawn, Carter received orders. The tank was to be shipped to England for full evaluation. The unit would escort the transport to Cherbourg. Harlan clapped them on the shoulders. You boys made history. Turns out fear has a thickness, and it's about 2 inches. The convoy moved through battered villages, the panzer chained like a captured beast. Children waved, some threw stones. The smell of sea salt reached them by afternoon. At the port, cranes hoisted the carcass onto a ship bound for the research facility. Hanley watched it rise, dripping mud, swinging against the gray sky like a relic of a fallen god. Carter stood beside him. What do you think they'll find next? Hanley shrugged. Probably proof we're just as breakable as they were. Carter smiled thinly. Maybe that's the point. As the ship pulled away, Hanley felt both lighter and strangely bereft. The Panzer had become part of their story, a riddle solved, yet not. He realized that understanding the enemy's armor didn't make the war end any sooner, it just changed the questions they asked. Back at camp that evening, Travers brought news. Word from command, testing confirms it. Sherman's 75 can penetrate at close range. They're revising tactics. We go in tighter, faster. Hanley looked toward the east where the front still burned. Knowing the numbers wouldn't make it safer, but it gave them something new, confidence edged with fear. The next morning, engines coughed to life again. Rain glistened on steel. The men mounted their tanks, ready to move toward another nameless village, another test of courage and luck. Hanley tucked the metal tag of the German crew inside his pocket, close to his heart. When the column rolled out, he thought he could almost hear the echo of the captured panzer clanking behind them, thin armor, thick legend, and the truth caught somewhere between. The war was far from over, but one illusion had died for good. And in its place, a harder, sharper kind of faith began to grow. Faith not in invincible machines, but in the frail men who drove them.